over 20 years as a Daybreakers Toastmaster. And his title today is The Truth About Titano. Speaking from what?
Just using up time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I'm going to tell a story about a bull named Titano. Now, Titano was born in a great ranch in southern Spain, in the province of Andalusia. Now, the cow died when the little bull was born. And a little boy named Juanito, that was one of the sons of the workers there at this big ranch, found him dying out on the ranch, and he took care of him and fed him and brought him back to strength. He named him Titano. They became great chums. They played games, especially bullfighting games. And Juanito would get the cape and would say, "Come on, Torito, Toro, Toro." And the bull, the little bull would make passes, and he said, "No, you're not supposed to do it that way. You're supposed to aim high. Otherwise, this is no good." He would try to tell him, for his own good, how to be a fighting bull. And these are games that you would play with a dog or a pet, or any pet. Now, it was discovered, the ranchers, that this was happening. And that's a no-no in Spain, because then the bull becomes soft, and then, his fighting instincts are no longer there. And so he was forbidden. It was a big scandal. He was forbidden to play with Titano. But on full moons, during full moons, every month, Juanito would go out to the fence, and he would whistle, and Titano would come to him, and they would play by moonlight, and they would play games of bullfighting and the like. Well, as the years passed, Titano grew much stronger, about a ton, and as strong as steel. And he was very much dangerous. But he was still friends with Titano. They were chums. When it came time for the ring, there's what you call a tienta, two tests. One to find the brave cows, and they tested by having these horsemen with a lance, and the cows and bulls are made to charge the horse, and then they're stabbed with this big lance. And they find that the cow is brave. Then they use the cow for breeding brave bulls, and the ones that are not brave, they use them for beefsteaks. Well, Titano, of course, passed the test that he was brave. And it was time to go to Madrid for the big bullfight. And there's a big procession. And Titano was put on a cart, driven by horses, and taken to Madrid and put in one of those pens. It was done on a Saturday. Now, Sunday morning, Juanito went to the great cathedral, and he sat on this side of the pew and started praying for his pet, Titano, asking for God's protection. And if you could maybe look on the other side, on a pew, you would see the matador there. He was praying for his safety and well-being for that fight. Juanito, of course, being very miserable because he's about to lose his best fight starts. And there are the passes. The matador has these passes to get the bull tired. Passes. And, you know, this goes on for about a few minutes. And then they come out with a picador on horses with a lance, with a blade. And of course, the bull charges a horse, and he's, you know, made to bleed, to make him weaker. And then, bandarillos. These guys come with two spear-like things, and they put them on the back of the neck here of the bulls to be sure that that weakens the neck muscles. So when it gets ready for the kill, the bull comes down charging with his neck down. And it's easy to put this, you know, sword in between the shoulder blades. It goes right to the heart. Kills the bull. Well, when it was time to kill Titano, it seems like instinctively that Titano knew that there was something going to be poked in between his shoulder blades. Because after all, he'd been doing this for a long time in a game with Juanito. So when he would charge the bull, when he charged the matador, who had his sword out ready to, he charged him high and threw him over his shoulders. And they had to go and get a stretcher to get the matador out of the ring. Got the next reserve matador, go get him, go get him. And he goes out a few passes, and he gets out his sword ready to, the same thing happens to him, over his shoulders. There were 4 matadors, and 4 matadors went over the shoulders of Titano. And the crowd by this time, they were in awe, they were in tears. They'd never seen such a brave bull in all their lives. And then they took out their white handkerchiefs and started waving them. The whole ring, you know, about 100,000 people. And they started shouting, indulto, indulto. Now, indulto, translated to English, means spare such a brave bull. Spare him. Spare his life. And finally, the judge came out with a red handkerchief and declared that this bull was going to be, brave bull was going to be spared. And Juanito jumps into the ring and runs toward Titano. And the crowd is in awe. The little boy is going to get killed. Oh, and there he goes. And the bull, of course, not knowing that it was Juanito's, charges. And there they go, both of them running. And about 5 yards from meeting, he recognizes Juanito. And he comes to a halt, like 1 foot away from Juanito. And they hug and he says, oh, Titano, you're going to be spared. And he grabs him by the neck and they walk, you know, out of the ring, and he's taken back to the ranch. And